foe against each other.
We're now going to witness a classic. It's Indonesia versus Philippines in game number 1. Let's see who is going to prevail in this challenge. It's amazing to see. We have an amazing crowd right here from both of these countries, and even citizens of Iesf, Romania, joining us right now. Amazing matches ahead.
Man, I feel like both countries literally imported audience here too. I know there's a cheering crowd even anywhere you go when you're watching Indonesia, man. They have a whole cheering squad
with balloons
and yeah, with the clappers too. It's awesome. They're just missing the drums. You know?
Imagine if that was present here.
Hey,
There's
you don't
a complete
know.
one-man band here for each of the teams, just having a great crowd cheer.
Maybe the grand final, right? They pull those out. Still, this is the early game, what we usually expect. A little bit of poking, nice hook already landing, looking for the first blood. Moreno gonna be in trouble, couple hits away. Gets it with the first blood in the hands of Saison here on the Lancelot. What a great start.
Yeah, speaking of start here for Philippines, a jump start. A great way of delaying more of the jungler here of Indonesia, although he's on level 3. Rocking the Quantum Charge here, more hits. Gets a great amount of HP just by being in these kinds of team fights. But in the early game stage, you don't want to commit most of the time, so if you want to get vision, but at some parts, you need to have your level 4 right away for the first hurdle of the game.
Yeah, I love this too, right? The fact that most of these Franco players now running the focusing mark emblem allows them to, once they land that iron hook, once you see someone just get hooked towards the Franco, it's most likely going to be a kill if one of these members are there for him, right? To the follow-up to get that bonus damage in. And if it's Saison here on this Lancelot, great for him, right? He's able to utilize that.
Yeah, and just by looking at Saison is on a pure rage with this Lancelot. Just looking at the poking ability, amplifying maybe an adaptive attack of a penetration from magic to damage. Interesting choice and a routing for Philippines. What a hook!
Another hook gonna land. Ken, though, Super Ken will be fine. Still gonna come down to the retribution here. Saison goes in, but it's actually gonna be secured by Archangel. Meanwhile, nobody goes down here. Pulling back here on the retreat, no one falls. Turtle, though, secured for Philippines. Interesting that you pointed that out, too, right? In pure rage on this Lancelot. Is that, is that gonna work? Is that intended here? How does that come into play for a Lancelot jungle?
Well, now you have adaptive attack and penetration for this. If he builds upon most of the damage items, it gives an additional way of having a hybrid amount. Yes, Archangel with that additional, precise, concise dropping down that Astral Recall and Echo, because at that point, Saison's retribution was still not available.
Yeah, not much you can do there. That's what I'm talking about, man. The decisiveness with Franco. Flickering in, using that ultimate, the Bloody Hunt. It's a clean kill. How do you play against that, right? How do you go defensive mode against that type of decision making? Really, you kind of have to just get to the point. Here's the hard guard on Super Ken. Unigo going down. Nice pickup kill, putting Indonesia on the board here. That's what they needed. It also went in the hands of Super Ken. So hopefully he can take that, scale up really well in the jungle.
Good rotation there onto the river where the lore or the Turtle might show up. But just by the presence of this Angela, having 3 warrior boots here, you have extra armor and also have steel leg plates onto this Uranus. Probably he wanted to sustain more damage that you can take from a Turizla. You have Spell Vamp and a Rock and Brave Smite. You might want to deflect that early on if you want to have more spams in the back line of the Philippines. Now, looking at the camera right here, we're up top, so I can take a bit of damage from Riccodiano against Brody. This time around, Saken and Riccodiano continuing the showdown back then.
Battle of the Gold Laners, right? This is what we were highlighting leading into this matchup. And really, if you try to break it down, like what lane do I pay attention to? It's every lane here, right? Because everyone is going to play the part, and you'll see it kind of unfold as the game goes on. Second Turtle now, big objective for the taking. Heartguard going to be on Cerezo, trying to tank as much as damage as possible. Quite tanky. Saison could be in trouble. Penalty zone used. Archangel now making his way. Has to lay down some of the covering fire. Flicker comes out from Canon. Unigo will fall there. A kill going in the hands of Vin. Meanwhile, Turtle will be secured here by Indonesia. Slowly but surely, they're finding wins across the map.
Cerezo, one-man army defense, zone out, box out onto the Philippines. well, poked out a lot of resources as well by just being in the presence in the front line with a follow-up with hard guard and the love waves. That is a problem with the Philippines that needs to commit. Either they go in or for an attack or for a retreat. But at some point, that is the danger right now of the Angela. Having this Impure Rage right onto his hands, poking, and as he build on through the magic damage, is a bit of a challenge as well for Philippines to build with the defense items heading on from minute 8.
Still at this point, 5 minutes in, it's pretty much even, right? Economy-wise as well, a little bit of a lead here for the Philippines. Again, it's 2 for 2. Well distributed too, as in terms of the kills, right? But this time, Recutiano having that early kill on this Brody will help him scale up a little bit here, right? Now, you just have to manage this kind of lead that you have so that it doesn't get out of control, and that's what Indonesia has to do. They seem to be doing just fine. Once again, it's 1 for 1 for the Turtles. You can see the pressure here for the jungle as well. Saesun getting pushed in a little bit on his own resources will be fine. Has to use that tool. Now, Unigo, once again, Super Ken with the hard guard, going to be putting pressure here. Archangel in trouble, goes in under the turret with that. And now Unigo will follow along with the turret as well. Another solid pickup for Indonesia here. Meanwhile, in mid lane, the trade across the map. They finally get some space to work with for the Philippines. Rizzo able to spot them out. Shouldn't be able to convert much, but look at this. Indonesia making their way here. Not going to be able to catch Saesun just yet. So still, across the map happening. Still even here, OSX.
Experience translating into success. Going back on this replay, Unigo was in trouble. Two members there of Indonesia was present, trying to take on the turret, but that point in time, Moreno has the ultimate. A lot of poke potential was thrown away and peeled everything out of the Philippines to go back to their own defenses, and just as that, with a diversion play that Indonesia made, also Philippines found a way to have a cross-map objective trade.
Once again, Turtle up, third one, last one of the game here. Heart Guard on Rizzo, taking the brunt of this damage. Gonna get locked down, poked down with Ask for Recall as well. Will get whittled down until he finally falls. Penalty zone committed as well. Unigo quite low, has to get out of there. It's secured by Recutiano, able to get the third turtle here for the Philippines. Look at the push up top though. Sakin putting in work solo.
Wow, just by in a macro scale, no matter how or what objective that they lost, they traded with a push, they traded with a tower take. Man, Indonesia and Philippines right now is not even going far ahead with a goal deficit, but just by looking at the priority, even for the items and even with the push, they can still get empowered with the defenses. Now, by just having an item check here, we have the Ice Queen wand onto Arcangel, amplifying that slow on the Ice Queen wand, a basic build-up to even complement their team setups, especially with the focusing mark. This amplifies more of the basic attacks of this Brody. Having the quantum charge, a lot of ways can even be developed in terms of damage. That's why you notice in an all-in state just in the bottom, they just have a way to see a window, and when they have that, they take it.
This is what I'm talking about, man. Like, at this point, whether you're giving up some type of objective or not, the team is going to make a play somewhere else, right? And that's kind of these micro decisions on the macro skill, or the macro decision that you changes the course of the game here. The pressure up there on the top side that was put there, the tier 2 is gone now. You know, and as we get to the territory of these lords popping up, that is going to play a part in here. Let's take a quick look at this item rundown, though, quickly.
Yeah, we have the Blade of Heptasis present. We have Tough Boots here present as well. You have the passive, the Encourage. You have extra attributes in the damage, plus physical penetration, the Malefic Roar. Probably building off of the Blade of Despair of the Brody, but now he is the richest marksman now on this game in this first 9-minute mark. So with this, by not being disturbed around, it amplifies more of the passive of the Blade of Heptasis, which is the ambush. So finding out to the back line is the major problem that Indonesia wants to solve. Who is going to go up front? Yes, there's an Angela, but once they commit, it needs to go all in.
Oh, look what they're going for. They're going to land the hook here, right on Super Ken in his own jungle. Can't escape it as he falls right on target. Wow. A huge penalty zone coming out from Cannon. Not able to follow up on the kill just yet, but they force them back all in time for this Lord. Now that this is the first one of the game, a big play here for the Philippines.
Yeah, that is what I told you. Commitment needs to even show much more confident, much more precise. The control and amount and the macro skill of the Philippines right now is too much of a problem. They go top, they go to bottom. Man, everything is just going crazy. And even with the lead right now, we're looking at a 4K gold lead. And we heard a Conceal down bottom.
Conceal.
Somebody might be in trouble here. Vin, though!
Yeah, you're not escaping it. Conceal, I don't even know if you needed the Conceal there, right? He was trapped, Next thing you know, he sees Franco there. Franco, man, right? That's not
No.
going to work out for you. So he goes down. Now you have the Lord marching up the top side. Remember I was talking about economy being pretty much even across the board? Well, now look, it's really in favor of the Philippines. As they continue to work around this Lord push, they're going to get these next turrets, right? That's what they're set on. They're letting that Lord push in with Saison here. The tier 2 now in the bottom lane will go down. Indonesia has to defend their base turrets at this point. It should be relatively easy to clear it out, right? They have the tools that they need, but they will lose these outer turrets here.
10 minutes. Team Philippines remains deathless. PHI Saison right now rocking a hybrid onto the Imperial Rage just by building this an additional item to sustain more of the damage. A lot of ways they can't get to the fight, but somebody got caught.
Another hook. Hard guard on Sock, and he's already used the Blazing Duet, but they can't capitalize on it. He's still going to be alive. Finally, Moreno's going to fall. They look for another 3 down for Indonesia. Recutiano able to get the killing spree. Now Chorizo in trouble. Double kill on this Brody, and they're going to assault the base. It's only Vin. It's a disaster for them as Philippines looks to close game number 1 on a clean wipe out there. The crystals worked on, and they take first blood in the series.
And just